Well, good afternoon again. Apologize for those of you that made me aware the video got cut short that I sent out on Friday afternoon. This is just a continuation of where that left off. So there were really only two more points that I was getting to. The first one is, I was talking about just, with the changing market and all of that, how the consumer is making different choices. Um, and one conversation that I've had probably it feels like daily is if somebody wanted to sell and what's that market look like. I'm happy to talk about that and what that means to each person. I think that's more of a case by case situation. There could be some people that actually need the money for remodeling their home or retirement or college funds or life, whatever it is. But those are going to be very different conversations because, like we were talking earlier about inflation, what the dollar does, how do you hedge against that? You may not want to sell your property. Maybe if you just have a short-term issue, you might want to just do a quick refi or HELOC to pull a little money out instead of liquidating the entire asset, which might actually, or, retaining that asset might protect you long term, since we were talking about money supply and inflation and all of those things. Because realistically, how do you protect yourself? Do you buy silver or gold or real estate? Obviously, I believe in that, and I've proven it. I even bought during the pandemic. So we bought property over 9 months ago. But the last thing that I wanted to discuss was um, getting more micro. Before the conversation was kind of macro, now we're getting micro. So new legislation put out by the state, in the last uh, 2 weeks. And we're still getting updates every day. We just got an update the other day from the courts of how they want to handle some things, little nuances here and there. So we're always getting updates. But I wanted to share with you, I'm just going to read what my attorney, our eviction attorney, this is all they do, is deal with evictions and notices and all that, what their opinion was of this new law. And I'm happy to send you a copy if you just shoot me an email if you want to read it instead of listen to me. No problem. So let me just read this to you. This is a new eviction law regards to AB 486. As you may have heard, Governor Sisolak has signed AB 486, making the law effective immediately. This new law, which further restricts landlords' rights to seek eviction through courts, runs through June 5th, 2023, and impacts almost all types of evictions, not just rent-related evictions. As detailed below, the law clearly goes beyond helping tenants during the pandemic and is a clear attempt to thwart landlords' rights to enforce their lease agreements. Under the law, a tenant may file a challenge to nearly all types of eviction notices, including pay or quits, 30-day notices. Those are the 30-day no cause. So if you just want to get the property back and there's nothing wrong. Lease violation notices, 7-day notices, and 3-day notices for unauthorized subletting or businesses. Stating that the tenant has applied for rental assistance or that the landlord has refused to participate in the rental assistance application process or refused rental assistance. Once the tenant files such a challenge with the court, the case is stayed until a determination is made on the tenant's rental assistance application. The landlord may contest the tenant's challenge by filing their own documentation, at which time the court can either hold a hearing on the matter or send the case for mediation. If the court determines that the landlord failed to work with the tenant in filing their assistance application, the court can impose monetary damages against the landlord. This provision does not apply to commercial evictions or situations where the tenant's rent is current, for tenancy at will evictions, or in the case of nuances or removal of previous owner after the sale of a property. The landlord can also seek exemption from the law where landlord is facing imminent foreclosure. I'm going to caution you on that. You're going to have to provide paperwork showing why that is. Anyway, information regarding this process may be included in all eviction notices, which we'll provide to the tenants in their notices. Obviously, this is coming from our attorney, so he's just telling us what they plan to do. In addition, for all other evictions, the court must stay the proceedings. It is unclear if this is just where the tenants request a hearing or if it applies even to tenant does not contest for 30 days. So they must stay the proceedings for 30 days to allow for mediation to occur. While mandatory mediation currently only applies for pay or quit evictions, it is anticipated that all eviction types will now be subject to mandatory mediation. The bill also creates a program for smaller landlords to apply directly for rental assistance and imposes fines for landlords who accept rental assistance but continued the eviction process. Also, while Nevada eviction moratorium has expired, the Federal Center for Disease Control moratorium continues in effect until the end of June. This law is devastating to landlords and continues the year-long agony which many of your clients continue to endure. As previously stated, this bill clearly goes beyond COVID relief into government intrusion into your clients' contractual rights. So a couple things that I want to chime in on. We did actually apply for every single landlord that was due money since COVID started. So even ones where tenants have moved out, we did get the ones rejected where the tenants had already moved out. But we have not had a rejection for the ones where they had not moved out yet. We have had no communication from the state on that. However, we have had what they call CHAPS, the Housing Assistance Program, send a few checks lately. So, although it's been months since the tenants have applied and we've been working with them, they did finally get some caseworkers assigned, and we have started to see some funds roll through. But if somebody's just applying, let's say today, I would not expect to see funds for a few months. So, if we're having to make some decisions, we'll discuss that as well. It would be a very rare circumstance that we would want to reject tenant's money. It would have to be something not having to do with pay or quit notices. Maybe they're a danger to the community or the property, which I can absolutely back up and argue in court. But otherwise, why wouldn't I want to get our owners $5,000, $10,000 checks? So I don't think that's going to be an issue for us. And then the CDC moratorium, we discussed that in our Friday video. So, just same information for that. Anyways, feel free to reach out with any questions on any of this. I'm always happy to chat. Again, people like to discuss this stuff a lot, and so do I. So I'm happy to enter into a conversation with you, to make some decisions, or your financial planner, or just a friend or family member that has questions about this stuff. So feel free to turn them on to me. Happy to chat. I hope you have a great day.